You think the Academy always gets it right? Think again. From Citizen Kane to Pulp Fiction, even iconic classics have walked home without that golden trophy. So today, we're counting down 10 legendary movies that shockingly didn't win Best Picture. Grab your popcorn, because this list will have you gasping and wondering, what were they thinking? And be sure to stick around and tell us which film you think was snubbed the hardest. Now, on with the countdown. At number 10, we have The Dark Knight 2008. Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight revolutionized the superhero genre with its dark, gripping storytelling and an unforgettable performance by Heath Ledger as the Joker. It was the movie of 2008. A critical and commercial smash that had fans asking, why so serious, Academy? Yet, in a twist of sorts, Gotham City, The Dark Knight didn't even get a Best Picture nomination. That year, the Oscar went to Slumdog Millionaire, while Batman was left in the shadows. Despite its snub, The Dark Knight had the last laugh. The outrage over its omission was so strong that the Academy actually changed the rules afterward, expanding the Best Picture category to 10 nominees. Fun fact, this film was the first comic book movie to hit $1 billion at the box office, proving that blockbuster entertainment can also be high art. Some men just want to watch the world burn, but we just wanted to watch this masterpiece earn its rightful gold. At number 9, we have The Wizard of Oz, 1939. Toto, I got a feeling we're not in Oscar territory anymore. This beloved fantasy musical has charmed generations with its Rudy slippers, talking scarecrows, and a Technicolor dream world. The Wizard of Oz is arguably one of the most iconic films ever. A movie practically everyone has seen or heard of, so it might blow your mind to learn it didn't win Best Picture. In 1939, Dorothy lost to Scarlett O'Hara. The Best Picture Oscar went to the grand Civil War epic, Gone with the Wind, leaving Oz without the top prize. Fun fact, those famous Rudy slippers. They weren't enough to walk off with Best Picture, but they walked straight into pop culture immortality. There's even a museum dedicated to them. At number 8, we have Star Wars, 1977. In 1977, the Force was strong. Star Wars took the world by storm, changing Hollywood forever. George Lucas's space epic introduced us to lightsabers, Wookiees, droids, and the ultimate villain in Darth Vader. It was a pop culture earthquake, spawning a billion-dollar franchise and an army of fans. So of course it won Best Picture, right? Wrong. The Academy in its infinite wisdom said, awards? These are not the droids you're looking for. Instead, they gave the 1977 Best Picture Oscar to the romantic comedy Annie Hall, snubbing the most influential sci-fi film of all time. Fun fact, Lucas didn't even attend the Oscars that year, figuring Star Wars wouldn't win, and he was right. He was off in Hawaii with Steven Spielberg, dreaming up Raiders of the Lost Ark while the ceremony went on without him. Their friend won the Oscar, but Lucas won the hearts of millions of fans. Coming up at number 7, Do the Right Thing, 1989. This next one still stings. Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing is a powerful film about racial tension on the hottest day of the year in a Brooklyn neighborhood. With style, music, and provocative social commentary, it's often hailed as one of the best films of the 1980s. You'd think the Academy would recognize such a bold piece of filmmaking, but in 1989, they did the wrong thing. Not only did Do the Right Thing not win Best Picture, it wasn't even nominated. Instead, the Oscar went to Driving Miss Daisy, a safe, feel-good movie about a friendly Southern chauffeur driving an old lady around. Fun fact, in 1989 the Academies also failed to nominate Spike Lee for Best Director, but they did nominate Driving Miss Daisy's director. It's like they wanted to drive right past the hard truth. Spike did finally get a competitive Oscar decades later, but this snub remains a glaring example of Oscar myopia. At number 6, we got Goodfellas, 1990. As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a Best Picture winner. That's what Martin Scorsese's Goodfellas might say if it could talk. This film is an absolute mob masterpiece. A high-energy, stylish ride through the lives of New York gangsters, filled with iconic scenes, quotable lines, and a soundtrack that slaps. Many consider Goodfellas the greatest gangster movie ever made, but in 1990, Oscar whacked Goodfellas. Goodfellas got whacked by a guy dancing with freaking wolves. Fun fact, Joe Pesci did snag an Oscar for Goodfellas. His acceptance speech was a legendary 5 words, "It's my privilege, thank you," and he walked off. Regardless, Goodfellas sits comfortably on countless greatest films lists. Oscar or no Oscar. At number 5, we have Pulp Fiction, 1994. 1994 was one of the most stacked movie years ever. At the forefront was Pulp Fiction, Quentin Tarantino's slick, innovative crime film that spliced together hitmen, boxers, and Bonnie situation clean up in a non-linear narrative. It was cool with a capital C. Tarantino took home the Best Original Screenplay Oscar for his efforts, but when it came to Best Picture, Mama always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. And what we got was Forrest Gump winning Best Picture over Pulp Fiction. Counting up at number 4, we got Saving Private Ryan, 1998. Steven Spielberg's Saving Private Ryan isn't just a movie, it's an experience. Who can forget that opening D-Day sequence that thrust audiences into the brutal reality of World War II? The film as a whole is a powerful, harrowing tribute to sacrifice and brotherhood, led by Tom Hanks at his very best. By the end of 1998, Saving Private Ryan was widely hailed as the film of the year. A shoo-in for Best Picture, right? It even won Spielberg a Best Director Oscar. But in a plot twist worthy of Shakespeare, the Best Picture trophy went to Shakespeare in Love. The Shakespeare in Love upset is one of the biggest shockers in Oscar history. Shakespeare in Love is a charming, clever film. It's fun. It's romantic. It's got Gwyneth Paltrow speaking Elizabeth in English and a playful take on the Bard's inspirations. But Best Picture over Saving Private Ryan, really? Many were left speechless, except perhaps Joseph Fiennes reciting sonnets in celebration. At number 3, we got Brokeback Mountain, 2005. I wish I knew how to quit you. That line became instantly famous from Brokeback Mountain, Ang Lee's beautifully crafted tale of 2 cowboys in love, struggling against social norms in the 1960s. By the time the 2005 Oscars rolled around, Brokeback Mountain had lassoed virtually every major award, Golden Globes, BAFTAs, Directors Guild. It was the odds-on favorite for Best Picture. It was more than a movie, it was a cultural moment, breaking new ground for LGBTQ representation in mainstream cinema. But wait, the envelope is opened and the Oscar goes to Crash. Wait, what? Crash, an ensemble drama about racial tensions in LA, managed to upset Brokeback in one of the most controversial Oscar night outcomes ever. And at number 2, we got The Social Network, 2010. Directed by David Fincher with an electric script by Aaron Sorkin, this film turned the founding of Facebook into a razor-sharp drama. A modern parable of ambition, betrayal, and the cost of success. The immortal line, "You know what's cooler than $1 million?" $1 billion, and a pulsating soundtrack that made coding in a dorm room feel epic. Critics lost their minds over The Social Network in 2010. Many declared it the film of the decade. And finally, at number 1, we got Citizen Kane, 1941. Here it is, the ultimate Oscar snub legend. Citizen Kane wasn't just a great movie, but it frequently topped critics' lists as the greatest film of all time. Orson Welles' 1941 opus about the rise and fall of a publishing tycoon, Charles Foster Kane and his elusive Rosebud, revolutionized filmmaking with its innovative cinematography, narrative structure, and bold storytelling. Welles was just 26 years old and basically reinventing cinema. One might assume the Academy would bow down and hand him the trophy. Citizen Kane lost Best Picture to How Green Was My Valley, a well-made but fairly conventional drama about a Welsh mining town. Why is this the biggest snub? Because it's the clearest example of the Oscars missing the forest for the trees. Citizen Kane had influenced generations of filmmakers and is studied endlessly for its techniques. It's one of those movies that even people who haven't seen it know by reputation. As one writer quipped, a film doesn't need Best Picture winner next to its name to be iconic. Citizen Kane proves that. And that wraps up our list of Oscar snubs, 10 legendary movies that missed out on Best Picture. Did your favorite film make the list? Or did we leave out a snub that still has you ranting every Oscar season? Let us know in the comments which movie you think was snubbed the hardest. Was it one of these 10? We can't wait to hear your thoughts.